What's going on, everyone? So, big question. The Los Angeles Lakers, should they trade for Quentin Grimes? Should they kind of push their chips in and go get a guy like Grimes? Right? He has a lot of upside two-way potential. He's coming off of an excellent season. And Philadelphia still hasn't been able to work out a sign-and-trade deal or any type of deal to bring him on and retain him. And it's looking more and more likely like they're going to have to move off of him at some point. Now, it's very possible that they work it out and he ends up staying with the Philadelphia 76ers, but there's also questions of like his fit there because they have several guys already, and if Paul George and everyone is healthy, is he really going to get the opportunity? Where Quentin Grimes, I mean, one, you can make the argument to start him right alongside an Austin Reaves, two, or alongside a Luka in place of Austin Reaves, correction, right? And two, even just him coming off the bench in a backup role solves a lot of the Lakers' issues as far as like defense, shooting, offensive, creatability, right, for himself and others, right? He is coming off a very good season, and then eventually you can make that transition. Might even give you the incentive if you're the Lakers to maybe now look to trade Austin Reaves if you were to bring in a Quentin Grimes, because it's like, okay, now we got a guy that can come in and kind of fill in the role for Reaves. Here's the thing though, defensively, Quentin Grimes has not been better than Austin Reaves. I think he has better potential defensively. Don't get me wrong, I think he has the tools to be better defensively, but he hasn't been. I mean, even last year, right? Quentin Grimes for his career is a 116.4 defensive rating, right? Austin Reaves last year, for as bad as people thought he was defensively, was a 116.5. So for Quentin Grimes' career was what Austin Reaves did last year, right? Last year, though, Quentin Grimes was a 117.6, right? Which, again, Austin Reaves was a 116.5, right? Now, again, I believe that Austin Reaves I think Quentin Grimes has the potential to be a better defensive player than Austin Reaves, but it's just something to keep in mind because I know a lot of people are like, oh, the defense that he would bring over Reaves. I've seen kind of those conversations and, various, comments and things like that. But again, I just want to be clear, he's not as good defensively as you might think, but I do think the potential is there. Now, he's also younger than Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves just turned 27, right? So, he's several years older than Quentin Grimes, which, again, gives you more upside, gives you more potential, gives you more kind of ability to maybe reach the heights that you'd be looking for him to do. He's 25, just turned 25 in May. So talk about 2 years younger, right? That 2 years is a big difference, right? Where's Quentin Grimes in 2 years, right? People talk about Austin Reaves improving and getting better every year. Well, Quentin Grimes has done that as well. Now, to be fair, I think there are things that Austin Reaves does better than Quentin Grimes, but I also think that there's things that Quentin Grimes does better than Austin Reaves. The big thing that Austin Reaves does better is just his playmaking. Quentin Grimes can make plays, but he's not the playmaker that Austin Reaves is, right? And this isn't an argument to trade Austin Reaves for Quentin Grimes or anything like that. If you can get Quentin Grimes without giving up Reaves, then I would do that, right? This is just more, kind of stacking them up, because if you get Quentin Grimes, he's probably going to be your two of the future, right? Like, I don't think the Lakers would go and trade for Quentin Grimes to bring him in and now he's just going to be the backup of Austin Reaves for his entire career, right? I think that this would be something to where if the Lakers are kind of like, hey, we don't necessarily want to play or pay Austin Reaves what we'd have to pay him, Quentin Grimes would also be cheaper or potentially cheaper, right? Quentin Grimes wants, 25 to 30 million. Austin Reaves could get as much as 50 million, right? So, I mean, that 20 million could be a major difference. And again, Quentin Grimes coming off of a good year too, similar to Austin Reaves in a lot of ways, especially towards the back end with Philadelphia, which we'll touch on here in a moment. So, to me, if the Lakers are going to, I think the Lakers are one, maybe at most two moves away from being a true contender. I think they're either one kind of higher end guy, which Quentin Grimes could potentially be that. You kind of need more of a sample size than that, right? But I think that that's a possibility. Or they need that kind of guy plus something else, right? So you'd work out a sign and trade for Quentin Grimes, which means you not only would land Quentin Grimes, but you'd also end up opening a roster spot. So my guess it would be something that a package centered around Rui Hachimura, right? Maybe you can, throw in a Dalton Connect for Philly and that could make them happy. Probably almost for certain are giving up your first, right? Again, it just depends on what Philly is willing to do. Also, Daryl Morey, he's a guy that He's not afraid to trade guys. He's not afraid to bring on guys, right? Like, and again, like a Rui Hachimura makes some sense for them, especially after and the concerns with a Paul George. I'm not saying he is Paul George, but I'm saying like the best ability is availability, right? So like I do think that there is a path there. It's just what do you have to give up, right? You're giving up Rui Connect, probably your first round pick. That's why I posed the question earlier. Would you kind of go all in on Quentin Grimes? Because you might have to. Right? You might have to sell the farm in order to get him, right? Are you willing to trade an Austin Reaves and a Rui Hachimura to land a Quentin Grimes? You might be willing to trade Rui Hachimura to get Quentin Grimes, but is Quentin Grimes going to give you the production of Austin Reaves and a Rui Hachimura? If it's me, I would try to do like Rui, Dalton Connect, a first. Like I would try to keep Austin Reaves because you can then go, if you want to, go trade him to go get a better kind of fitting piece if need be, right? Like, so you have Quentin Grimes who can slot in at your 2, and then kind of, can you maybe go, now turn Austin Reaves into a better slotting 3, like a starting level 3. And now you're really talking, right? So again, it just gives you the flexibility. So to me, I would try to trade. I'd give up whatever I had to not name Austin Reaves to go get it. Not because I think, like you can't trade him or anything like that. It's just, there's a risk. You know what you get with Austin Reaves. And I think Austin Reaves would yield a better return, right? So I would look to do something like that personally. But again, that's why I posed the question to you. But Quentin Grimes, what did he do? 25 years old, talking about a guy, 6'4", 6'5", right? Slot in basically 2 or 3s, best suited as your 2. Now, on the season last year, because he was with Dallas and then he was with Philly, he really had his emergence with Philly, right? After he was traded from Dallas. But he also got a more expanded role, got more opportunities, right? So those kind of things help. I mean, his field goal attempts literally doubled. He was averaging with Dallas 8 field goal attempts, 7.8 if you want to be exact. Philadelphia, he was shooting 16.4, right? So again, doubled that. But on the season, I want to talk about the season and then I'll talk about Philly. On the season, 75 games played, 37 games started, 27 minutes per game, or just under 26.8, 11 field goal attempts total between the 2 teams, 46.7% from the field, 38.5% from 3-point range on 5.6 attempts, 2-point range, 55.2% on 5.4 attempts, EFG of 56.5% from the free throw line. He was 75.7% on 3 attempts, grabbed 4.3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, half a block, and just under 15 points per game. Now, if you move to Philadelphia, 28 games played, 25 games started, 33.7 minutes per game. Took 16.4 field goal attempts per game, shot 47% from the floor, which is good. 3-point range on 8 attempts, shot 37.3%. Now, that's down from Dallas, where he was shooting 40%, but on 4.3 attempts. So he literally doubled his 3-point output and shot basically 1.5% worse, because he was 39.8. So I guess 2.5% worse, right? Also, he didn't have Luka, LeBron James, right? And potentially Austin Reaves if you keep him, right? So something you got to keep in mind as well is that the quality of threes and the quality of looks that he's going to get is just going to be much higher on a team like the Lakers, right? So that could be very beneficial. But with Philly from 2-point range on 8.5 attempts, shot 56% from 2-point range, had an EFG of 56%, shot 75.2% from the foul line on 4.8 attempts, grabbed 5.2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, half a block, and 22 points per game. So he was a 22, 5-5 guy with 1.5 steals and half a block, right? Like, if you can go get Quentin Grimes, I think you go pony up to get Quentin Grimes. I'm not against trading Austin Reaves for Quentin Grimes. I want to be clear about that. I think there is a genuine argument. If you could just swap those two, I would do it. But problem is Quentin Grimes, you're going to have to make a lot of money. I think does Quentin Grimes make you that much better? Like, if you don't believe the Lakers are a contender right now, does swapping Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura for Quentin Grimes, does that now make them a contender? Because you're not just losing Austin Reaves' production, you're losing Rui's production also. I don't know if that does. I think it's much better long term. I think the fit is better. I think that there are some arguments, but I don't think that that's better. So to me, I'd rather, if I can, I would try to keep Austin Reaves and trade everything else to go get Quentin Grimes. So now, if you want to, now you can kind of ride the season, maybe do a sign and trade in the offseason, or you can now trade Austin Reaves to go get that better slotting 3, move Quentin Grimes to the 2, and then now you have a, Luka Doncic, Quentin Grimes, and then Andrew Wiggins. Just using him as a name. I'm not saying I'd trade Austin Reaves for Andrew Wiggins. I'm just saying, like, just using him as a name, right? Something like that to where it's more balanced. It makes more sense. It fits better. Then you got LeBron and Ayton, obviously. Still got Marcus Smart off the bench. Still got some moves to be made. So I don't know. If I'm the Lakers, I'm trying to make it work. I'm at least calling Philly and going like, hey, what do you think about a sign and trade? What are you looking for? Right? Because Philly's trying to go all in too, right? And Lakers do have a couple guys that make sense. Like Rui makes sense for Philly, right? Given, Paul George and some of their lack of kind of more lower center of gravity big men. Like Rui could help in a lot of that. Plus his shooting and all that stuff. That could be very, very, very beneficial to a team like that. Gabe Vincent as like a point of attack guy might be good for them. Or Maxi Kleba, floor stretching big, right? There's some things that may be able to work. Add a Dalton Connect, add in, a first round pick. Maybe you're, incorporating a third team to take somebody, whatever, you figure it out. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.